Welcome to the Keep It or Change Cars podcast, and we are growing exponentially. We are on episode
15?
55, I don't know. Close enough. My name is Gugu Masuku, and I'm your host. And as always, I am joined by the one and only owner of the platform, CHANGECARS, Mike Pursuit.
Thank you, Gugu.
How's
Appreciate it? Always good to be here. Always excited. I'm always excited because we've got new guests. They say young blood. This is proper young blood, healthy, right? Good blood, man.
Good genetics. So, in case you're wondering who we're talking about, we've got a very cool guy, cool cat in the studio. Young but cool. His name is Nicholas, but he goes by so many different names. Nicholas, Nick, what's your social media handle?
Neocinematic.
Neocinematic.
SA Talk.
You may have seen all of those on social media. You may have seen him on social media with his car. Nick, welcome, brother.
Thank you guys for having me. I really do appreciate it.
Well, thank you for
Like I was saying before we started, this is my first podcast, so I'm a little bit
we're going to go easy.
But yeah, I hope you boys take it easy on me. Yeah.
Nothing to be nervous about. You're a natural.
Of course.
As a matter of interest, because Nick is your connection. How did you meet Nick?
Shall I tell the story or will you?
You can go ahead.
So I go to this BMW launch in Durban. I'm invited, do my thing. That's what I always do. It was the BMW 4 Series Coupe.
The 4 Series and the Grand Coupe.
Grand Coupe,
440.
yeah. 440i.
I think it was also like the November. I think like the
was it last year?
November 2021.
2021. So I rock up to the launch slightly late and everyone's chosen their driving partners. So I'm just like, okay, who am I going to drive with? Yeah. And the PR at BMW says, well, there's this new guy. He seems very nice. Maybe drive with him.
You're the experienced guy. He's a new guy.
Yes.
But you're late and he's early.
So then I end up driving with Nick and we end up chatting and getting lost. Do you remember how many times we got lost?
Yeah, we got lost quite a lot of times.
Why did we get lost?
We did. Well, like it was my first
I had a navigator.
Launch.
He was my navigator.
And, my navigating skills are
they good now?
Not well. I wouldn't say they're too great, but they're better than that first time.
Yeah.
I can promise that. Yeah.
So what is Nick's field of expertise? You tell me.
So I am a videographer, basically. That's content creator, and I actually make a lot of content for corporate companies. Wow. That's what I'm specializing in at the moment.
Specifically in the car field, or
no, just everything. One of my main clients is like a vape company, so I do a lot of different things. But I would like
smoking.
Smoking is one of them.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. I would like to try and focus more on car content and trying to produce content for automotive companies mainly, because that is where my passion lies. So I'm trying to push that. Obviously, like you guys have seen my personal content,
absolutely,
and that's something that I just did out of cool idea that I thought about. And yeah,
I've looked at your stuff, Nick. For our audience, please share your address, the TikTok, Instagram, whatever it may be, because your stuff is exceptional. The way it merges, it is top-notch. This looks like something out of Dubai, out of Switzerland, out of Italy, wherever the best comes from. What is the address?
Thank you, Mike. So I have 2 channels. The main one is Neocinematics, and that's where I push my own personal content on. Then I have another channel called SA_Talk, TORQUE. And that's where I host like automotive events and just mainly events, car events through that page.
And again, your stuff is outstanding, but you're also knowledgeable. So let's not give him a soft landing. Drill him, man.
Drill him, okay.
Ask him.
Well, he's asked for it now.
I'm here to
I don't ask for it.
You've asked for it now. No, I'm kidding. But bro, I mean, you're not the average car guy. You're not. And those who don't know you may not understand, but I know you. Mike knows you. Where did that come from? The little passion for cars, and we'll talk about the car that you own and.
I think like most guys, that passion for cars obviously comes from our fathers, But I think as soon as I came out of my mom's womb, I was already loving. I wanted to be involved with cars. But yeah, no, my dad definitely influenced me. Mm-hmm. He's always loved cars, and he's always been privileged enough, obviously, to be able to afford a few nice cars. So whenever he'd go on his car drives or just he's always anything car related, he'd involve me. And I think, yeah, I have two other siblings and they're not really into cars at all.
Boys?
Just
Jaden
one
Pursuit.
other boy, an older brother,
Amazing.
and then the older sister. Yeah.
Now,
and they don't like cars.
Now, you mentioned Jaden. I mean, I've said it on the show before many times. My son is 12 years old. He's surrounded by car websites. He's surrounded by all things motoring. Not an interest whatsoever in cars.
It's crazy how
It's amazing. Like a new car will pull into the driveway, something we've bought. You'll say, nice color, Dad. What is this?
Color is that?
Oh, Audi's still making cars in South Africa.
Cute, man. Yeah, no, it's funny how some people just, they either have that passion or they're just not interested. They see it as transport from A to B, and that's that.
Literally, But I've seen with the younger generation, and I've seen this with my own siblings, that they don't really care about cars. It's about getting from here to there, and that's really it.
100%. But what was a treat growing up? So if I say to you, I bought my first car magazine roughly 1985, okay? Whatever the edition was, March 1985, April 1985, I looked forward to that. Every single month, that was like the highlight. Read it from front to back. Ask a younger generation, a newbie, do you read any car magazine, overseas, local?
You know what they do now?
Happen. Hey?
You know what they do now? They watch videos.
Yeah.
Videos that Nick creates and other people, that's what they want to do. No one wants to read anymore.
Yeah.
It's sad.
It's the social media is taking over our, like my generation's time mainly. I think like social media is just such it's like a huge black hole that never ends for people. People just want to watch and consume, and it just never ends.
It's so true. So let's go back 15 years. A car test of any car of your choice. Toyota Corolla 1.6 GLI. There was 2 car tests. Car Magazine and Top Car, or whatever the magazine was that was competing with it. It was only those 2 tests. And every single reference to that car would be, did you see the 0 to 100 time was 9.45 seconds as tested. The braking distance. Today, how many reviews of a car are happening in the world? The same car is being reviewed hundreds, literally hundreds of times. You put in Ford Ranger Wild Track. How many reviews of that are there?
Ton on YouTube.
There's plenty,
But the most important one is the one done by Gugu Masuku for Change Cars.
Change Cars and all things motoring. Need advice? Visit changecars.co.za and click on the Keep It or Change Cars tab. Okay, Nick, so let's get into it, man. Stock or modified for you? Stock, standard cars? I mean, I know
when else did you see this guy? That's a silly question to ask Nick.
That's it is a silly question.
You're gonna have to explain why, though.
I'm gonna be honest, guys. Through my experience of modding cars, I think over the last like 5 years of modding my own car and going through all of that, my views have changed a little bit. It really depends on if you have the money, the extra money to spend and do stupid things on your car, because at the end of the day, that is what you're doing. It is kind of stupid to mod your car because you're not going to get that value back. The mods that you paid for at the price, you're never going to get that money back. When you try and resell that car, it's actually better to take off all the modifications and sell the car like that. Otherwise, you'll get quite a low deal, to be honest.
So when you say your views have changed, are you saying you were pro mod and now you're going towards a Michael Bashut way of life?
It's tricky because I feel like if you are comfortable in your life and you have some spare money to spend on a project.
Oh, sorry.
No, don't have a kid, because then you're not modding anything ever. Then go for it and mod your car. You will obviously have a lot of joy out of it at the end of the day. And but if you're not in that situation, rather stick to stock.
Stick to stock.
Yourself,
Michael Bashut style.
Look, I'm in the middle. I must be honest. I like a car that's slightly modded, where you can't tell that it's modded. So drop the suspension slightly and get the sportier mag off that car. So if you've got the standard variant of a car and there was a sporty version of it, like the RS or whatever it is, get that mag, put it on, drop the car slightly, and no one can tell that it's modified. You can't tell, but there's just something about the car that looks special and looks different.
A little bit different, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a direct line to our producer? I need a little cup to hurl into. Hey, I promise you, I would change absolutely nothing. The only thing I would change is the brand of leather care that you use and whether you used what type of wax. Nothing must change.
I've tried to teach him, Nick. Doesn't work.
Now, what for you, besides the actual cost? Is it the way the car drives? What was the drive to modify a car? Enough is never enough power?
I feel like, you know, once you start adding a couple mods, it's never enough. You know, it's this mod and that mod, intake, exhaust, and then you enjoy it for a little bit of time, and then it's like, okay, let's do a little bit more and a little bit more. So it never really ends. It's like a endless money pit.
I must just tell you a little story with Nick. So I met him once. The night that I met him, we went for dinner. We go to the parking lot. Now, I love cars. And again, we know I'm not driving underpowered cars. Nick's there in an AMG 45.
Can I interrupt you there, Mike? So now Google is saying that you do not like modded cars, and now you drove my car. How do you not like modded cars after that?
I loved the performance, but in all fairness, you don't have a car, you have a rocket. Okay. I've never in my life felt a car literally want to snap my neck. It was like this car's sole intention was to snap my neck. Okay. The only thing that stopped my neck being snapped was my right foot. Tell us a little bit about that particular vehicle.
So it's a A45, 2013 A45 AMG.
That puts out how much kilowatts? Normally 265 odd.
So yeah, 265 kilowatt stock.
Just not enough.
And yeah, it's just not enough because now it's making 422 kilowatts.
Okay, let's get into that because I've been waiting for this. What have you done to that car to get it to that? What mods have you done to it?
All right, so my A45 has quite a lot of mods that I've done to it over the last 5 years, but I obviously started small, as one should. I started with like a plug and play system. I'm actually going to go through like the stages of my car.
Is that the stage one, stage two thing that
no, this is not stages, just my stages of how I modded the car.
No. When you say a plug and play, is that like stage one? Because I don't know how they do it.
No, not even a stage one. I wouldn't consider that stage one. Stage one would be like intake and software.
Yeah.
That would be a stage one, I think. And then stage two, intake, software, cooler, and an exhaust system. And then like stage three is when you start messing with your turbo. And yeah.
So where did you start?
It's you guys that gave Eskom the stage one load shedding. Load shedding. No matter what we're doing, we can do more, boys. Stage 12 load shedding.
Let's go, boys. Stage two wasn't enough.
Yeah. So where did you start in that car?
So I started with like a plug and play system. Then I went and put
What's
an
a plug and play
intake.
system?
So a plug and play system is basically like a box. It's like a tuning box that plugs into certain parts of your ECU, and that basically allows you to not void your warranty, because once you send the car in for a service, you pull that out and it's perfect. You know, you can't pick that up. So that's
for our audience, does every single car have an ECU as such?
Yes.
That is standard, that's from the factory. Put it in, take it out, put in the naughty one.
No. So the naughty one basically gets attached to the ECU.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it goes into certain
Override.
It overrides it basically. Yes,
So
it sends different signals
So the
to the
manufacturer
ECU.
gives you a place to plug in an additional.
Yes.
Very nice of them, because they know
Yes.
there's people like you around. I love
Yes.
that.
So that's how it started off. And then I did an intake. I did a exhaust system after that. Then we went and changed the charge cooler.
Now, for the audience again, what does that entail? So you say the intake as an example, because it sounds easy, but I don't imagine that's a plug and play.
So no, the intake, well, you get bolt-on parts for cars, obviously. So certain items or parts that were manufactured for a certain car, but they are aftermarket. So the intake is an aftermarket bolt-on part from AMS that I put on in the US. I don't know if you guys have heard of them.
I've heard of the name
AMS Alpha. They work on a lot of GTRs, high-performance GTRs. So that was a bolt-on mod that I put on, and then that helps the car suck in more air and breathe, get in cooler air, basically. The adapter for it is slightly bigger than the stock, so it lets the car suck in more air. Then after that, I did a exhaust system because the car was very quiet. I started with an
A45.
Listen, I don't know if you guys have heard of stock A45. They are quiet.
No, they're loud.
No ways, Google. They're so quiet. Okay, you need to hear my car.
I know, right?
You need to hear my car, and then you'll know what loud is. So yeah, I started with a downpipe, and then basically the downpipe is the part that goes from your turbo extending down to your mid pipe. So that normally has a cat on it, the stock one.
Take it out.
Yeah, that becomes a catless downpipe.
So now, if I can just interrupt you right there, the term catalytic converter for me is just a problem no matter what you do. If you've got a problem with the car's performance today, it's something to do with your catalytic converter. No performance cars have a cat. Am I right?
Yeah, no, you are right. Cats are basically there just to
irritate and limit
and check the emissions and all of that stuff to actually kill your emissions quite a bit.
But it's halting the performance.
Yeah, it is. Right? It halts the performance quite a lot. Yes.
So carry on with your downpipe. So no cats.
So yeah, it's a downpipe, a catless downpipe. Then I did a full exhaust system after that. So it was the mid pipe all the way to the back box, and it basically is my car is basically right now a straight pipe, but it has a valved system at the back.
Right.
So it works off a controller, and when you turn, you can either turn the valves on or off.
Yeah.
And when they're off, it bypasses that back box and becomes completely straight.
That's
pipe.
what he calls a snap your neck mode.
I was going to say, do you think we need to invest in one of those?
No. So next, something interesting for me. You said you did it in stages.
Yeah.
Each stage that you do, can you 100% feel that gain?
I must be honest, Mike. This is it's a tough question because now we're going to dive into other realms. So basically, it really depends where you take your car in South Africa. If the person that you're taking your car to is not good and he's not clued up on what he's doing, you're not going to feel any gains on anything. At the end of the day, software, I believe, is one of the most important things for your car. And if you can get the tune right, you'll feel some proper gains, yeah.
So tell me here, you talk about software, right? I've heard that software on a naturally aspirated car, be it V8 or V10 or V6, sorry, wasting your time. Is that correct? Does it have to be turbocharged?
You can do, well, to be honest, I'm not 100% sure on that, Google. I feel like there are obviously limitations in the ECU on an NA car that can be unlocked. They can still overfuel it. You can still overfuel a bit of the car and get a bit more power out of it, but you will see more gains on a turbocharged car. Yeah.
Well, it's just how much, it's forced induction. So anytime you can force more air through the turbo or whatever a supercharger does. So that's why you're definitely not wrong. There will be gains, but those gains will be minimal relative to
a turbo car.
If you want gains with your NA, take it down to Durban and then you'll feel
then
gains.
It'll breathe, right?
Yeah.
But interesting that you say that. Even a turbocharged car, where people think a turbocharged car does not perform differently at the coast, even there, it performs differently.
No, it does. Most certainly.
Where would a turbocharged car or supercharged car, as a matter of interest, let's see if how you, for our audience, be faster, top speed. If you had a drag run in the coast, turbocharged car, supercharged car, at the coast or in Joburg, where would it be faster?
Or are you saying top speed?
Top speed, not acceleration, top speed.
I think at the coast.
Okay, and where do you think?
Well, which one?
He grew up in Durban, so he's a little bit biased.
Which one? Turbo or
a turbocharged car, supercharged car? So same category?
Yeah. Where would they be
coast
faster?
or
I'd say at the coast.
Okay, Joburg. Where's the air thinner?
Yeah.
Top speed, you've got the forced induction, so there's no real gain, but the air is thinner here. So the car that's lost 17% of its power is because the air is 17% thinner. It is faster. It is faster.
Okay, interesting.
Okay.
Anytime we can help you, my pleasure.
Oh, thank you.
Want SA's leading insurance? Visit changecars.co.za and click on the Discovery logo.
Okay, so now that we've spoken mods and everything you can do to your car, which you have probably done, Nick, you've done everything. But say there's a guy out there who wants to mod their car, but they don't want to affect the warranty of the car. What sort of mods can one do?
All right, so this is a tricky question, obviously, because, the automotive industry is strict with their cars, and especially new cars. No one really wants their cars to be touched and
Yeah.
messed with.
Well, it's very, very simple.
Yeah.
I'm guaranteeing your car and you pushing the boundaries.
Exactly,
So what
you know,
goes wrong, you're going to blame.
Why must we fix
Absolutely.
your parts if you
100%.
trying to get more power out of something that we've given you with this certain power
That's
and this guarantee?
But that's
you know?
exactly it.
I'll answer the first part of that question for everyone. Plug and play, right?
Plug and play. There we go. So, like I was saying, a plug and play would probably be one of the best ideas. That way he can avoid voiding his warranty. Another thing he could do is buy a downpipe if he wants a little bit more of a angry exhaust tone. So, but you would need to remove the downpipe before you send your car for services, obviously.
I mean, nice and easy. Just take it.
No. So if these are the things, though, if you want to mod your car, like
At
and
work.
even the basic mods,
At work,
there's tricks to it and ways to do it. Unfortunately, the automotive industry in South Africa is going to hate me after this.
As you know, I don't sit on the fence and I don't wear two hats. So I look at it from the manufacturer's point of view, exactly what you said. We give you the car with 265 kilowatts, which is already stonking.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to go put 330, guaranteed you're putting 30% more strain on those parts.
100%.
Not our problem. If you're driving an older car that's completely out of warranty, go to town, do what you like. But for the audience, my personal opinion, if you're driving a car that's under maintenance plan, freeway plan, whatever the case may be, preferably don't touch it. Manufacturers are honorable people. They're not there to void a warranty, but give them any reason to void a warranty.
will, yes.
And
They
they will.
Yes.
Yeah.
You miss a 10,000 kilometer service.
What
Something goes wrong with the aircon.
Yeah.
That they wouldn't have touched at the 50,000 kilo service. And that aircon breaks. They'll say, sir, you missed your 50,000 kilo service. We acknowledge you wouldn't have done anything to your aircon. But that's what I say to you. They're honorable people, but give them a reason. It's like life insurance. So again, I'm not
Like
trying to-
insurance,
Hey?
yeah. Any insurance.
If you've got a car under maintenance plan, under guarantee, don't touch it.
I must agree with you, Mike. Like, I think, you know, especially the newer cars these days, if you're going to buy a new car and spend so much money on a car, because, you know, at the end of the day, cars' values are climbing through the roof. Just leave it stock. Don't touch it. Wait for that motor plan to end. If you still have the car, go berserk, you know, do whatever you want, but just know you just know you're going to pay for the maintenance at the end of the day.
So what we're saying, if you buy a Hyundai i10 with 70 kilowatts and 140 Newton meters of torque, just accept it or buy the i20.
No, what we are saying is just change the mags. That's the only thing you can get
Just
away with.
change
and lower the suspension.
And the
That's it.
suspension,
Yeah,
and then
only
that's
two
it.
things.
Yeah. But Google,
Yes.
back to the question, actually, if someone wants to do like some mods, they can do exterior mods, you know, some mods to make their car look nice. They can wrap their car, maybe carbon bits, and that stuff will not be voided by your warranty. So
little
that's
spoiler at the
something
back.
you can, exactly. You know, if you want to rice out, go for it.
If I say to you 10 years ago, and 2013 was not a long time ago, had you heard the term wrap?
No.
You
You know what that was?
100%. And all of a sudden now, it's amazing. I always say to people, like, we know fax machines. 10 years ago or 15 years ago, you didn't know the term WhatsApp. WhatsApp is part of our life. Insta, TikTok, didn't know them. Now they're part of our life.
I love the fact that you're on TikTok now. Like, that's the biggest revolutionary thing
He's watching my
that I've ever
content,
changed in
Google.
your life. Eh? Yeah, yes.
When you say I'm on TikTok, am I?
You're on TikTok.
Well, that shows you, I swear, I didn't even know I was. Your feeling on wraps?
Wraps are they're also tricky. It also depends on what sort of wrap you get. You know, you get some good brands like 3M, Avery Dennison. You get some good brands of wraps. You need to be careful what wrap you buy because, you know, if wrap is supposed to last about 5 years on your car, 4 to 5 years. And when you take that wrap off,
Car should be like new.
the car should be like new. But some wraps, when you take that wrap off, you can actually pull the paint off.
Well,
you know,
that's what I
and
wanted to say to you. I've heard that people say they take a wrap off and exactly it's expecting
Paint
there.
gone.
And it's
That's
like
bad.
It's like in the old days. Now,
Yeah.
have you heard of something called a sheepskin?
I have not.
Come to you. He's
The
not.
Mercs.
No, what is
you know
that?
what a sheepskin is?
The thing, the seat cover in the
Like a
Mercs.
seat cover.
okay.
People would buy a brand
They
new
get-
car, a brand new car,
Yeah.
And put that on
they put a
immediately.
seat cover over
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So
Sheepskin.
you had this beautiful looking seat for the time, and now they go put a horrible sheepskin. Why are you doing it? To protect the seat.
Preserve
But
the seat.
I don't get that.
Yeah.
I don't get that. But when you used to take the seat cover off, you'd have all this caked in dirt, and it was just it was just horrible. And the oils from the sheepskin, it was just horrible.
Looking to buy a new or used car? Visit CHANGECARS.co.za.
So you're quite big in the drag racing scene, aren't you?
I wouldn't say I'm too huge, but I mean,
your car's
people
fast,
do
it's
know
not
me.
fast
Yes,
for nothing.
people do know me. Yeah.
Yeah. So how does one get into, or where does one start? If someone wants to get into drag racing legally, of course, and closed off events, where does one start? The car, what do you need to do to the car? I mean, you've done it all.
Sure, Google. Now that is a tough question, like all of these questions that you've asked me. I think, obviously you need to have a passion to drag race or want to race. I think and money.
And
yes,
money.
Lots of money.
Dineros.
Dineros, left down in Greek.
You need a mechanic, do you think? You need because I mean, someone's got to fix that.
No,
car
but you
when
need to
things go wrong.
you'll need to have a tuner. A
tuner, yes.
Okay.
Is that what you call it?
A tuner, yes. Someone that does tune the car.
And where does the
maintain
drag
it.
races? I mean, obviously, I know growing up, Tolton.
Yeah,
That's the
so-
only track that I know. And then obviously the streets of Hillbrow on a Friday night where the cops don't go.
There's
Every
Tolton,
street.
there's Midval, there's legal drag racing that happens in Brackpan every single Wednesday
Really?
that people can go and spectate.
When you say legal, I mean, is that,
No, it's legal, proper legal. At the Rock Raceway.
Oh, yes.
And I don't know, I'm sure you've heard of that, Google. And yeah, you can go and race. It's only 200-meter strip, and you can literally race anyone and everything that you can imagine there. So
But when you think of dragsters, we're not talking about those cars where the wheels grow and they chuck petrol on them. So I had a drag
What do the
race.
wheels do, sorry?
Hey, the old dragsters, the tire, the wheels used to
They
go
flex,
from
yeah,
round
they flex, yeah.
to oval.
I love the way you described it, though.
Hey, they used to
grow.
grow. But what is interesting, so I never thought a drag race could be exhilarating because it's just a straight line, like on a race circuit, it's overtaking, it's taking corners. We were at Desi Raceway in Port Shepstone. It was an Opel Superbus day, and there was 30 Opel Superbuses there and one BMW 325i-S, okay? And I had the pleasure of driving it and drag racing in it. And the first drag race I did against an Opel Superbus, I absolutely nailed him, flattened him. Was not nervous, it was amazing, it was exhilarating.
Yeah.
The second, the third, and the fourth race, for whatever reason, I could not get the car into second.
yeah.
And I spoke to the owner of the car, Oliver Broom, personal friend of mine, and he said, Mike, I promise you, it's not the car. It's 100% you.
You're panicking.
100%. You're panicking. Of course,
It's
you
all
think
the
it's a
adrenaline,
car.
yeah.
Okay. Stu's Bob. Finish the racing. I do a race by myself, just for the cameraman. First, put off beautifully, flattening everybody around you doesn't exist. Into second gear, super smooth. Just shows you how the adrenaline.
Yeah, and
I mean,
you wanna win.
is it exhilarating for you?
no, of course, it's always exhilarating, especially when. So obviously, I haven't mentioned to you guys that my car is actually the fastest in South Africa. It runs a
That's what I want to do my next race in. And you'll tell us the time now, but sorry.
It runs a 10.9.1, and the
Fastest in what sense? Sorry, bro.
So it's
Like
the fastest A45 in South
hectic.
Africa. Yeah,
And is it automatic?
it is. Yeah,
I'm prepared to borrow it anytime you want to lend it to me.
we'll have to see about that. Mike. We'll have to do a good trade.
So what was the time that you said?
10.9.1
Is that for a quarter?
quarter mile. Yes.
Now, that is stonkingly quick. I mean, that is stonkingly quick.
is.
What is super quick? Anything under 12 for a quarter mile?
These days, super quick these days is 9 seconds. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. To be honest,
But
because
then what are we talking about?
RS3s mainly, TTRS is
Those things
RS3s. Yeah.
move. They move.
Oh, what? That much quicker than an A45?
Yes.
But what is it? Because you can just do something at the engine?
Quattros,
All-wheel drive.
it's 5-cylinder as opposed to the 4-cylinder. The Quattro system just is much better than the A45's 4MATIC. I think, I don't know, Audi have just found something with that 5-pot, eh?
Go Audi.
I go Audi. Now, you've driven this car. I'm still to drive your car, and I will come back and report back on this podcast after I've driven your car.
Okay.
Nick, thank you, brother. Appreciate
appreciate
you
it.
coming and, teaching us about the tuning world. You and I don't tune, Mike. We just like average, normal people.
When he was talking about tuning, I was tuned out. I'm like, trust me, I listen, but you'll never convert me. However, I do get it. When you drive his car, and I'm sure he'll let you drive it,
Yeah.
trust me, you don't drive it, you fly that
fly.
car.
Looking forward to it, man.
I'm sure you are, Google.
Thank
But
you,
yeah,
Nick.
thank you guys for having me, and I really do appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning into the podcast. If you found value in it, subscribe, like, share, rate the podcast. And if you need any advice, car buying, car selling, insurance, whatever it is that's motoring related, email us, podcast@changecars.co.za. If you're looking for a car, just by the way, go to changecars.co.za, search around, you'll find what you're looking for, quality cars from quality dealers, or a bike, or a boat, or a caravan, whatever it is, you'll find it.
For South Africa's best motoring content, catch all things motoring on DSTV channel 189 and on YouTube. New episodes every week.